Hi guys, hi loved ones, girls, children of God. Hello, bears, monkeys, Izzy, Cassie. Hello to you, welcome. Mama Bear here, Mama Bear loves. As always, we are Love Alive. Today I want to talk about grief. Grief is what struck my heart when I decided I wanted to make this video for you. Grief is something that we all want to avoid. We all want to fear it. We feel fear as soon as we hear the word grief because we know it's going to cause pain. We know we're going to feel suffering. There might be tears shed. Some of us might isolate and shut down. Or if we're struggling with addiction, maybe that makes us run to a bottle or whatever. It could be something to numb the pain. You know, grief comes in so many different forms, different shapes, different ways. It's so hard because it doesn't show up like, hi, I'm here, I'm grief, I'm going to stay a while, pack my bags, you know, moving in. Grief isn't like your family member who says they're going to stay a couple nights and lives with you for 6 months for free. Grief is, it's the surprise of the 6-month stay. Sometimes the lessons of grief can be as light as a feather, and sometimes they can be as heavy as death. If you have the relationship with God of unconditional love, and you believe with your whole heart, then I don't think you fear death. But it's the people we leave behind, it's the things that we let go of that start to trip us up, or that start to make us think, the relationships that we have currently or that we will no longer have. And so the lessons in grief that we go through happen so small sometimes we don't realize it. For instance, if you're in a relationship and you lose the individual, well, you're going to feel grief. Or if your parents get you a pet and you're a child, a hamster, let's say, a little giggy. Giggy is what we call any little rodent or squirrel, a giggy, and that giggy dies. Well, that's your lesson in grief because maybe you didn't take care of it as well as you should have, or maybe it got out of the cage and ended up in the furnace, or maybe it got in the toilet and it drowned. You know, there could be a million reasons why it could pass away, but the point of the grief is now you feel that in your heart. You can feel that sadness. And what do you do with that? Well, the first thing you have to do when you're feeling grief is to figure out what you're feeling. Babies, this is what I want you to do. Like, think, okay, right now I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling heartache. I'm feeling sadness. I'm probably feeling some frustration, sorrow. Probably makes you ponder a little bit about life and what it's all about. You know, all these things that you're thinking, say them out loud if you can, but if you're in a room where you're not able, then say them to yourself. And then once you have this new awareness, you can say, okay, God, I'm struggling right now. I'm struggling with these things, this grief. I don't know what to do. Can you please help me, Father? Can you give me a peace that surpasses all understanding? Please, I need peace so that I can continue to do your will. I'm asking you to be your hands and feet here on this planet so I can make the place better. And I'm grieving, and I can't do that if I'm grieving. Father, help me. And when you take it to the flame, the violet flame, when you let it burn up, as you send it to God, it no longer exists. It's gone. And you can have freedom from it. You can be released. Instead of suppressing it and not thinking about it and not processing it, locking yourself away, your cage, building another brick around the wall you're building around your heart. You know, don't do that. No, no, no. That's how we catch cases. That's how we end up making horrible decisions, wrong choices. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep listening here. Release it to God. Release it to the flame. Then recenter yourself. Take deep breaths. You let it go. Everything's okay. Take 5 long, deep breaths. Make sure you feel your tummy rise and fall so you know you're getting full oxygen, because your body, your brain needs full oxygen in order to fully function and operate. And then after you recenter, now you can refocus. So when you're refocused, you can go back to the situation, the problem at hand. Let's go back to this little child that lost their Gigi. Now you can think about it and say, okay, you know, everything on this planet that comes here must die. And this was his time. And it's a divine timing. And we all know that divine time is perfect time because it's God's speed. And we can surrender and trust to that. Because if we don't, we'll feel grief, and we don't want grief. We want peace that surpasses all understanding, so we let it go. We refocus. Now, the rule to refocusing, if you have something happen to you, we have a 24-hour rule that we borrowed from our sister Amy. And in 24 hours, you can grieve however you need to. If you have to throw yourself on the floor and kick and scream and yell and cry and sob, you get 24 hours to act a fool. Do not catch a case. Stay in your home if you're going to act a fool. 24 hours. And then you pull up your pants and you be a big girl or a big boy and you move forward. And we don't go back there and revisit that because we've already had our fit. And now we're going to find the way to be a solution, because the problem was that we are not part of the problem. We move forward so that we can be part of the solution. Okay, girls? And then once you refocus, once you're like, okay, well, now what do we got to do? Then you can re-engage. Now you take your little Gigi and you get a nice little cloth to put them in, and you hold your little service, however you do, to say goodbye so that you can properly grieve, because you have to let go. You have to release. It was never yours to behold. Everything on this planet is God's. Nothing is yours. You can't hold it tight. You can't hold it close. Nothing from me, nothing I can see can be taken from me. Nothing I see can be taken from me. Remember my words. It is all His. Then we won't have killing. Then we won't have arguing. Then we won't have stealing. Then we'll stop separating and segregating, and we once again can have heaven on earth. We can have heaven on earth if you just listen. Refocus, re-engage, and go live your best life. Because grief can't hold you captive if you don't allow it to. Now let me play out a couple other scenarios. We're going to go bigger because grief, say you're out having a great time, you're at the pool or the lake with your friends and you're having a couple cocktails or a couple beers, you're having a good time, you drive home and you're having fun, not thinking about it, and bam, you injure someone. Now you feel grief. Now you feel shame, guilt, blame, sadness, projecting. It's their fault, this, that, whatever. You're behind bars. You get out. You start pounding it. You start shooting up. You start smoking. Whatever it is. You end yourself back up in jail because you were on probation. Or maybe parole. You got caught up. You go back, you do a year, you get out, you're back on parole, probation, whichever. You're doing good, you're dropping clean, you're doing wonderful. Your homie comes over you ain't seen in a minute. He pulls out something and y'all go to town on it, because I mean, it's been a minute since you've seen each other and you're having a good time, so this is how you justify it. You get dropped the next day, you go back, you do another year, you get out. Now you're even more institutionalized than you were, because this time you also got raped while you were in prison or jail. This is after you didn't get any sleep because they kept tossing your cell every 5 minutes because other people were acting crazy. You didn't get to eat right because most of the food, believe me, is not worth eating. Yeah, I would probably starve in prison, which is only 3 seconds away by the definition of the MDOC. 3 seconds. That's the difference from somebody who's incarcerated and somebody who's not. 3 fucking seconds. That's all the difference is. So, think you're untouchable? Fuck you. 3 seconds. That it came out of the mouth of the second in command over all of MDOC. Let that be your love bat wake up call. I never would say fuck you. I'm so sorry. My point is, don't let your ego lead you like that, because that's how people get caught up. I met so many people in prison who thought they would never get caught up, and they did. You're no different, nor am I. Let's say you get an awesome job and you start embezzling money. At first, it's just a little, and then becomes larger numbers, and then you're getting away with it and go big or go home. So now you're getting the big money, and you're looking at 15 to life because you're a habitual offender and you've done this before, this sort of thing before, and you thought before you were an awesome mastermind, you thought you were a hustler, you thought you were a gangster, you thought you could pull it off and get away with it. Yet here you go again, right back in the same patterns, right back to the same routine, right back to the definition of insanity. Thank you, Albert Einstein. Hello, Albert Einstein, are you there? Hello. So today, Mama Bear is calling, and it's Jesus on the other end. And it's your wake-up call, because you don't have to deal with grief in a way where you lock yourself up or you get yourself incarcerated. You don't have to choose that path. So girls, both of you know that you could struggle with addiction because you both have been clearly guided in the scenarios of what could happen. Because Mama Bear, my kindness gets mistaken all the time for weakness. This is nothing new. Whatever. If you tried to hurt me and think you got over on me, you didn't. Good for you. I'm proud of you. You got one. Everybody's got to get got. Ooh. Now, moving forward, I might sing and dance, but I don't play. Real gangsters call Kimama Bangsi. Mama Teddy Bear. Everybody knows. It's all over MDOC, and it's all over here too. Because I don't play. I'm here to change your life and help you be the best version of yourself. No one on this planet will show you love the way I will, because I stand for Jesus. That don't mean I ain't gonna call you on your shit. If you try to justify it, I'm gonna call you out. If you need help with your growth, if you need enlightenment, encouragement, if you need empowerment, I am here. I will cheer louder than anyone else. I have the bullhorn to prove it. Don't play with me. I played with it at CR. Everybody knows. However, I really want to see you live your best life. If you can't do it for yourself, I'm there with you. I hear you. But I'll bet and guarantee that you can put energy into it to do it for your little ones, because I do it for Izzy. I'm doing this for you, baby. I'm doing it for Cassie. I'm doing it for you, Natasha Bear. I love unconditional, and it starts with those two first. Because my husband, my king, loves me unconditional, and he shows me Jesus every opportunity he can. I don't care if I'm screaming mad because I am a raging fire sign. He don't care. He still shows me Jesus. I don't know how he does it. Believe me, I wish I knew, because I'd like to try to do it all the time too. You deserve that kind of love, that same unconditional love he gives me. Everybody does. And that's why I'm making these videos, because it's important for the world to know and understand. Every life matters. Every being matters. If you disrespect a plant or a tree just because you can be, if you're a douche and an asshole, that just says who you are in your soul. Stop being a douche. I'm not saying stop like immediately, you know, walking on the grass or anything. You don't have to go that crazy. I'm just saying it's one decision at a time, one opportunity at a time. So do it on purpose and with purpose. If you can be kind, do it. If you have to fake it until you make it, keep faking it. Never stop faking it. Always, always, always. Just keep doing it, because eventually it's going to start feeling more comfortable to do, and then you're going to want to do it because it's going to make you feel good. I know, because I walk side by side with people who have felt like they didn't deserve it and they would never reach it. If you want it, it's here. Unconditional love. It's all over this planet. I'll let you borrow my love goggles if you can't see it. And it's up to you, it's up to me to love ourselves unconditional so that we can spread that to the world. Babies, I hope this gives you insight. I hope that you are always proud of your mama bear, because I know I'm always proud of you. Every one of you. I don't care if you are the President of the United States or the garbage man. Just be the best one you can be. Don't waste your time planting seeds of separation and segregation, because that's bullshit. Love with conditions is bullshit. Love unconditionally and spread joy, love, and peace as the same. I love you, babies. I love you all.